go to think. Okay. So Jamie, what do you want to work on today? When you thought of doing a session in front of the group, did your body start getting a little bit nervous like Sandra's yesterday? Because it's normal.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually resonated a lot. I watched that after because I wasn't able to be there, but I resonated a lot with that, just letting stuff go. And I think, as you said, like it's the root of it is always something from our childhood. And I've been thinking like a lot about what when Teresa said hers is love is fear, I'm sure that is my thing too. And I'm just trying to, been thinking about that. I started to do the program over using this computer now and just taking some time to do that stuff over again to really feel. I'm pretty sure I probably have more than one thing, but definitely love is fear is one of them. And just I guess I've been more feeling like somebody posted about thinking of things happening and just letting go and being present. I'm really trying to focus on that and letting all the stuff go
When you say
that
things
make
happening like the catastrophic thinking or the negative overthinking.
yeah, those two things is just kind of letting that go because I feel like, and I've done a lot of like reading up on it. One of the things is that you were told so many things, you wouldn't be good enough, whatever, that it's hard to just let yourself enjoy what you've got now
Yeah.
because of that mindset in the past. Like something's gonna have to happen because this can't be my life because it was not my life for so long.
So just as you say that, again, check in what's happening in your body. What do you sense? Yeah.
I feel here, that's my solar plexus, I think, maybe, or just kind of, yeah, like feeling some butterflies.
So let's, yes, sit with that for a moment and sense those nerves in your solar plexus and the butterflies. And you might need to say it again, and I'll say it back to you. And we'll pick one thing. So it's the pattern. She was saying, Teresa, like yours, love is fear. And then you said, it's the self-worth that we talked about yesterday with Sandra, being good enough, knowing we're worthy because you were told. Say that again very simply so I can say it back to you. You were
Oh, for
told.
so long I wasn't good enough for anything.
Okay, so go ahead and sit with that sensation, go in your body. So you were told you weren't good enough for anything. Now just take a moment and watch what happens in your nervous system. Look at that part. And ask yourself, I just don't want you to be alone with it too long. So do you believe that you're not good enough for anything? Or is that something you were told and learned?
Something I was told and learned.
So do you believe that's true?
No,
Perfect. And I
struggle
felt,
with it.
what, go ahead.
I struggle with it still, but no, I don't believe it's true. I just struggle with it.
So feel that sensation. So there's two parts of you. This is where the work comes in. You is the adult Jamie. No, that's not true. And then there's a younger part of you because that's the trauma that you were in. So go ahead and look at that part of you, just like Sandra did yesterday. Go into your solar plexus, the part of you that was told you're not good enough for anything. Part of us, like I almost chuckled there. Like that's almost, I know we all have felt that way at some moments and maybe still do, but it is laughable if you really think about it. You can start to laugh because when you do this work, and if you are spiritual, every soul can do anything. So let's do that. So go ahead and look at that part of you. And do you see an age who was told she's not good enough for anything?
It was a long time, but right now I feel the age 8 to 9 comes to mind.
Okay, so just hang out with her for a moment. Just notice what happens. Be with her. Can you connect with her? Maybe talk to her, let her see you. And tell me when she connects to you, when you both like look at each other and connect. Okay. And
Yeah.
what do you want to tell her about that belief and how you were treated? Take your time.
But it's not true.
Yes. And you can take your time and just maybe give her a hug to ground both of you, because there's a lot of pain there. Just give her a big hug. That might feel regulating. And just tell her, I'm so sorry you had to hear that so much. It's not true.
So sorry you had to hear that so much. It's not true.
Yeah, and relax your jaw and take a big breath. And so I'm let your body do the release. I'm just keeping you from going into any trauma vortex or anything too big. And it doesn't feel like you are. Do you feel like you're right there just with compassion for yourself?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Good job, Jamie. Just take a deep breath into your solar plexus. And let the adult you just step into her power. You are a powerful woman. You're a mother, you're a nurse, you work your butt off, you help people, you're smart. You are worth so much. Look how much you've created, a good marriage. You've come so far. It's pretty amazing, huh? We don't always give ourselves credit, do we? How does that feel to hear me say it back?
Good. Because you don't always think about it that way, I guess.
Yeah. I know it's really nice to see how somebody sees you objectively, like whenever I talk to Jamie, I'm like, gosh, it's amazing how much she has on her plate, and how well you do. So back to that sentence, you're not good enough for anything. That is why I keep hearing the word laughable, because look at how good Jamie is for so much. You're an amazing wife. Oh my God, I could just keep listening it. So, and the reason why else I laugh, only people that are so traumatized would say something like, you're not good enough for anything. Whenever you say statements of always, anything, never, that is total projection. And that is how whoever told you, I'm assuming your dad, he didn't feel good enough for anything.
It was him. School was terrible, terrible. I was picked on so much all the time because we were poor and a lot of it came from them. Having said that, when I look at them now, I don't have many of them on Facebook because they're just from not experiencing good things from any of them. They're not really doing well.
Yeah. The kids that
So
picked
you're
on
right. It is laughable. Yeah, it is laughable. But it was through school. And then when your daughter was talking, I actually stopped going to school and went to a religious school thinking I was getting out of all of that, which I did in a way, but then they caused more damage in another way.
with like spiritual brainwashing, religious brainwashing type thing.
Yeah, like that. Definitely. And when I was in high school,
Keep noticing your breath. Did you see that big breath? Yeah. So this is the good form. Don't miss any. Feel that breath in your body. Let it expand for a moment, because you're getting the support and the truth deep in your nervous system. So slow and steady. Feel that slow and steady wins the race, right? Is that the saying? That is this work. So
right.
can you feel that expand in your chest as you're saying big truths?
Yes.
Isn't it like, I don't think we realize, I do now with this work, it's just even saying a statement with witnesses is like, it's like a volcano. It's so powerful. Like I felt like maybe you have said that statement before, but you said it just that spiritual school did almost more damage. Like that was almost a little hard to say, but felt so good to say it, huh?
Yes, because they ended up in my senior year. There's a lot. There's a lot to work through, but they ended up they believed in corporal punishment, so I was being a mother to my siblings because my mom was trying to go to school. So I was doing everything, feeding them. I did not see my mom. She got home at 10:30 and left at 5. And I was trying to keep up with my schoolwork. So because I was so stressed, when I was grading myself, because you graded your marks, I didn't want to fail. So I was putting dots by some of them that I needed to change because I had too much responsibility, and they saw me doing that, and they literally spanked me with a boat paddle.
So take a moment, track your sensations, really look. Go take a moment to go inside. Does that feel, tell us what you sense. Check
It's a
your,
lot of here.
yeah. Tension.
Because just because I look back and I just can't. That's why I was not comfortable with that gentleman that immediately sent me some, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So let that tension be there for a moment. Let's just complete this a bit. What does that tension want to say? What do you want to do when you look at that incident?
Just that wasn't right. I wasn't even just being a kid. I was trying to be a parent.
Yeah.
And it was just so hard. Like everything was stacked against me. And I worked so hard for everything. So hard for everything.
And then you got hit.
Yeah.
So maybe, Jamie, just take your hands to get some of that adrenaline out and just push and just say that again. You worked so hard and that was not right. And so put your hands together in front of your chest. Or if you have a table or a wall in front of you like this, Jamie, look at me. Go ahead and just push because I can feel it in your heart and your chest, and it will help get some adrenaline out. Go ahead and take a deep breath and push into your hands like that was not okay. Nobody understood you.
It was not okay. And they had no respect they knew what I was doing. They knew what I was up against as well.
So they punished you for nothing, really.
Yes.
You weren't cheating. You were just
right.
And even if you were trying to do your schoolwork, I didn't quite get the dots thing. So it doesn't matter the details, but the point is you weren't doing anything wrong, even, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I would have marked them wrong, but because I was trying not to fail with all the responsibility, and I didn't have time to focus on my schoolwork because I was trying to look after 5 kids at the time, and do all their things. So I would dot them to know that I had to change them, and
So
they
like go
picked up
back
on it. Mm-hmm.
and that's not okay. Was that not okay to do?
Apparently, no. No.
So let's do this. It's kind of like Sandra's thing yesterday. These parallels are so similar where you're being made to feel like you're wrong and you didn't do anything wrong. So let's let that young. How old were you then?
17.
This will feel good. Go inside, connect with that 17-year-old, and look at those asshole teachers. I threw that word in there on purpose. Let that 17-year-old, keep your hand on your heart. Give her permission to speak up. And she can just do it with us. She doesn't even have to say it to them. That might be too scary, but if you want to, you can. But maybe just let her talk. What does she want to say about that incident?
Just that they shouldn't have. Spanking was not really, I needed help and support.
Let yourself feel that. Take your time. Tell her, yes, you needed help and support, not spanking and criticism. And they knew what you were going through with your mom being gone and your dad being abusive. And then you having
they were separated at the time.
But I just mean
yes.
They knew that you went through tons of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just look at her. Keep looking at that 17-year-old. Give her a hug too. This is how you regulate. This is how you get that out. She needs a chance to be loved and understood. A religious school should not be nobody should be paddling or spanking let alone religion. Did God say hit your children when they're not understood? I don't think so. No. I think no, I don't believe in any violence. Does violence create anything good? No.
Mm.
So we can do more completion on this if you want. Do you want to look at it a little bit more? That 17-year-old, like, how's this feeling in your body? What are you noticing? Is it
I
tight?
just felt a lot of energy right here and here, just kind of some tingling, and that's what I felt. Just
Yeah. Do you have a wall next to you?
um I'd probably be off of the camera for a minute, but I do over
Is there or
this.
is there a desk? Is
I
there
have the table. The table's right here.
is it hard? It won't move?
Um, yeah, not easily. It's a pretty heavy table.
Okay.
I can push some.
Because when somebody's abused and hit, your nervous system it does that, right? And all that adrenaline, and you're wrong. So there's the verbal and the physical. So do you want to play a little bit and do a little bit more with this and get that 17-year-old in her power and make you feel a little bit better around this? So go ahead, and can you see right before the paddle, right before they hit you?
Yep.
Were you scared?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to her now. And who do you need to bring in with you, Jamie? Do you want to bring this group? You can bring your adult self. You can bring us. You could bring Superwoman or Superman. You can bring whoever you want. Pick somebody or multiple people.
I think the group is who I would pick now.
Okay. So you're doing your work and this teacher comes up to you, and do you remember like the first thing that was said?
They just came by and looked. They asked me why I had so many red marks, because you would go up to the station and you would cross ones wrong that were wrong. So I would do some wrong, but then I knew that if I did too many, I was failing it and I would have to redo it. And I just didn't had enough on my plate. So I was just dotting them to change them. And they saw all the dots and they asked me why I was dotting them. And I told them the truth.
Okay. So how does that feel in your body? Because you said the truth. How does that feel?
Good.
And they didn't receive you.
No.
So
No.
what? So you get to do whatever you want now. So go ahead and bring us in. You might want to keep your eyes closed, track your sensations, be there with these teachers, or is there more than one teacher or just one?
There's more than one teacher. Um, the one that did it was a male. And I think that there was someone present because he was a male watching it take place. So I couldn't say he did anything. Oh, I guess I don't know, but there was someone else present. I don't remember who that was though.
Okay. So and I feel more in my heart now. Do you all feel that in your heart? So Jamie, whether or not it was even painful, like we can bring up a lot here. It's up to you. Like, do you remember pain? Did it hurt?
Physically, it was 3 paddles. It hurt a little. It was more
Humiliating.
emotional.
Yes, that's okay. Stay right there. Now rewind. I'm going to quickly back you up. So go ahead and see that scene. Now bring us in. Jamie, bring us in with you. And before this male with the paddle or these teachers can do anything, what do you want to do? Just go ahead and start looking and tell us a little, and I'll help you.
I want to tell them no, not to touch me.
Okay, so go ahead. You're back there right now. Look at them. Visualize us all standing next to you. That might feel better. There you go. Take a deep breath. And then tell them from your solar plexus, your personal power, no, do not touch me.
No, do not touch me. I do not deserve this. Everything I'm doing right now.
And look at their reactions. Do they even receive you or get you?
I don't think they get me, but I can see them being taken back with surprise at me speaking back.
Okay, good. Now you get to figure out what you want to do next. I mean, you can walk by them like I'm out of here with the group. You can flick the paddle and push it back in their face and say, why don't you go spank each other? You can do whatever you want right now to make yourself feel better. There you go. Do whatever you want.
I think I'm just gonna walk away, just push that away and walk away.
I keep having this vision of you. It's not violent. You just push the like the paddle's like in your face, like, and you are pushing it away.
Yep.
Like, okay,
right.
Go ahead.
That's what I'm doing, is just pushing it away and saying no. I'm gonna walk past them with you guys behind me, and they can't do anything because there's people there with me.
Yeah, and take a deep breath. Try this, Jamie. You see the door? Do you see where you can get out of that school and never go back?
Yep.
And do you see them behind you?
With their mouth open, yes.
Okay. So keep going. Go to the door, and I'm going to have you play with something here to feel your power. We're all with you. And because you've already walked by them and you're going to the door, do 2 flashes. In one instance, see yourself alone. We're not with you, and you're going to the door, and their mouths are open. And you're alone, and you're okay. And you go through the door. And in the other one, we're all with you, taking you through the door. I just want you to do both for extra strength.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and take a moment and feel it in your body. Breathe deep. We'll all do it with you.
You know, the crazy thing is, I don't think there's anything they could have done if I would have walked out. That's the power they had over, right? Same as my dad. It's the power they have over you. You could have walked away. It's the power they have over you and the fear.
Yes.
This is what I'm seeing.
Yeah. So this time, say it in the past tense, the power they did that I thought they had over me, and they didn't.
Yeah.
Just like my
power
dad.
I thought they had over me.
And nobody has that kind of power over me anymore. Can you walk away from anything if you needed to now, Jamie?
Yes.
So expand that in your chest. And then I want you to keep walking down that hallway and tell us when you get through the door into the sunlight. And they have I'm almost laughing now. It's like, when you see things like this in the movie and people like chase after something, they're so, forgive my words, I'm hearing the word weak in every way, because anybody that's abusive and hits, I just hear the word weakness. See their weakness with compassion. They can't even run after you. That's how strong you are and how weak they are, because your heart is big, your love, your compassion is big. And then look back and just be like, look what I just did.
I can see their mouths open. That's exactly what I'm seeing right now. I'm standing there with their mouth open going, what just happened?
I just feel like I want you to kick them one more time and just yell, you know what? If you paddle anyone, you should paddle yourselves. Don't touch children. I mean, who's with me watching this? Should a kid, a teenager, a human ever be spanked or hurt? I know people in my personal life who were spanked as children for getting in trouble, and it put them into a freeze as adults. It breaks my heart. Parents or humans don't understand. You're right, Jamie, the power that they have over children, and that power, if it's misused, should be taken away. So let's just send that out to the world that, God and the great ones protect children from any abuse and rage that parents haven't dealt with, and that for parents and teachers to deal with their own shit. And that's it. Amen. That's such BS.
Yeah. And I did not do that with my kids, because I knew how it, I'm not perfect. I've had moments, but I did not beat my kids the way that I was beat like that. I did not. And to this day, like, as I've learned more and more, I'm very glad that I chose a different path.
And when you say you were, not just in school, at home.
Oh, yes.
So this is something with this work I keep seeing, and all of us can reflect and look at this. How you were treated at home is how kids treated you at school or teachers. It's a parallel. we're attracting, and I know not everybody likes these words, but it's true, until we change and heal, those same vibrations, those same behaviors keep showing up. If somebody's bullied at home, they're bullied at school. If somebody's, so you're healing that lineage and that. Well, go back to going through the doors. Just take one more moment and feel in your body. I just see bright sunlight.
Yeah, I'm just opening the door, shutting it. There's a lot of things that happened there, but this is just one example. So I'm very happy to just walk out and leave it and never go back.
Feel it in your breath. There you go. Feel that deep breath. Feel your solar plexus. Feel your self-love. And you're all on the same path. I know all of your stories. So all these nervous systems are supporting you, Jamie, having been through hell and back and mistreated and shut down. And you're all like rising like the phoenix, like, no more darkness here for me. No, I guess I was supposed to be born in this to realize how bright my light is.
And you want to know what else is laughable? This is going to blow your mind, but
give it to us.
After this all happened, okay, and I went through that, I did graduate, go do my course for nursing. And when I filled out the form, they said, oh, you actually don't have a diploma. That is not considered an education. And I'm like, what? Like, seriously? So in order to do this, I had to go back and write the equivalent of, I don't know if you guys have this in where you are, but the equivalent of a GED. Whereas if you don't finish school and you have to go back and write a test to finish it and get your grade 12, I had to go back and do that. Then they also said, by the way, your biology was not recognized either. So you now have to, while you're doing your studies, you can now enter the course and be accepted, but you have to redo your biology. So now I can look at them and say, I did it anyway.
Take your time.
Like, yeah, that also, because I had a lot of things stacked against me. And when you come from that belief that you're not good enough, I even rose above all of those things, which I couldn't even believe they did to me either. They knew it the whole time. They just didn't tell me the truth because they wanted me to go to their Bible school, which I did do for a year. They only banked on me doing that.
So go back.
So I still did it.
Feel that. Take your time. Say it again. Even with everything that they tried to mess you with, look at them and say, I want you to look at them and basically say, fuck you, I did it anyways.
Yep.
You don't have to say the F word, but if you want, you're allowed to.
I did it. I accomplished it anyways. I did it anyways. And 22 years later.
So look at them. Take a deep breath into your personal power. Feel it. So none of us really swear at home, but we swear here because it feels good. So you don't have to swear, but I want you to use a word like screw you, something to push that energy out of your body, unless you want to do it physically. Like, they lied to
you. Yes. And guess what? One of them's divorced now, which they don't believe in.
Yeah. Wait, what's this? Is it a Catholic school?
It's not. It's Pentecostal, but I don't have them on. I don't want anything to do with them that way. But I just know from speaking to people from then that I still remain in contact with, they're divorced now. And that was a sin that was a taboo. No, you don't ever, they're divorced now because of all of the stuff that they obviously had to deal with.
So take a deep breath, go back in time in your nervous system, stay with this whole thing, but look at them and say it again. And say a few sentences that's going to feel really good in your body. Something like, screw you, you lied, you're a hypocrisy.
Yep. It's exactly what it was.
Hypocrisy. I want you to say it to their faces. It's going to feel good. Say it. Go ahead. Take your time.
You were all hypocrites, and the things that you judged me for and expected me to be perfect for, you have now failed in.
Take a deep breath. And you've excelled, Jamie. The reason why this is so healthy, stay there, let it expand, because you have such a big heart. I feel all of it. I feel like you have your truth. You called them on their stuff. Now you can have forgiveness and compassion for them and yourself in the situation because you did it anyways. That's healing. right? We can't forgive until we first speak our truth. So many people have trouble with that. So I wanted to just do the whole package. Hey, that wasn't okay. And I forgive you because you're hurting. And I did it anyways.
But now, at this point, I can send them love because now I'm doing this. So releasing and sending them love and just trying to let everything go that happened.
So stay right there. And that pain, that raw pain that you've been tapping into today, that we're all witnessing, what I love about this work is just feel how far back that goes to the patterns that your mom and dad showed you of love is fear and love is lies, it's too much, it's hypocrisy. And you just went, wait, that's not love. I don't have to play this game.
Yes.
I'm going to break this pattern for myself and my kids and create love as kindness and respect. And let those waves tell your body right now, hey, if you need to cry and release more of this in the next few days, in the next week, whenever you need to, I'm here for you now. Because it's almost like a fire extinguisher. I see it like explode, like when it gets knocked off the curb, it's like it can feel so big. That's what happens with my pain and grief sometimes too. And the more I regulate, it can still feel big, but it feels good too. It's like, yes, I don't have to hold this in anymore. And it can, usually it's little bits at a time, but I see when your nervous system is more regulated, like you, Jamie, and all of you, it's like you can hold space. That's me too. When my emotion comes down, it's big. I can sit with it, let it roar. So I see this fire extinguisher just going, like that's what you're doing. You're like, you're ready to explode, like no more. Yeah.
And it's so nice, like just to be able to regulate and do it instead of, because he used to get all worked up and stay worked up and just uncontrollably like cry sometimes and have these feelings that just stayed there because I just didn't know what to do with them.
And that's where the negative overthinking and the catastrophic thinking comes from, because it's from the sensation of being wronged, being punished. I don't think there's anything worse than being punished and being wronged for something you didn't. I mean, even if you are wrong, you shouldn't be punished. But it's like, here people are innocent. And this is what trauma is. We're just kids. We're just trying to grow. And then we're wronged for nothing or hit for nothing. And it's so, it's just like it takes your light and your soul away, but it doesn't. It does for a minute, but it doesn't, right?
Right.
It dims it. It feels like it's dimmed, but we don't lose that spark. It's there. And that's what you're uncovering. So say that sentence again. That was really good what you just said. Say it one more time and we'll lock it in your body.
The difference between learning how to healthily do this healthy, to regulate healthy, and I'll add to have someone say what you needed to hear. For the completion, it completes it, is someone saying what you needed to hear, what you're trying to tell yourself all these years, and that you wanted to hear from someone else that was in the wrong. Now I'm hearing it with this group, and it's I can understand completion now.
So tell us a sentence that you heard today that went, oh, that felt good.
You guys just saying it wasn't my fault and that I had so much on my plate and I shouldn't have been expected to do all that, plus being treated the way I was when I needed help. I needed help and I didn't get help. I got more grief.
That's what you need to hear.
More punishment.
So we can try it. I'll say it back to you. And if you want anyone else in the group to say it back, lock it into your body that I'll just put it in my words, you were misunderstood. You should have never had that much on your plate. And I'm not going to go too much into your mom, but that situation was not okay after all you'd been through. And then to be lied to and punished and not supported for a teen trying to learn, talk about learning disabilities, learning disabilities, because I had them at the height of my anxiety and stuff that was going on in my family, I couldn't learn because I was so overwhelmed. So it's a wonder we can even get through school when we're not being supported and living in regulation and truth. And, so you were already deregulated. You've been through so much abuse. And then now you're taking care of kids trying to learn and then being punished. That is insane. Like, I cannot believe. I understand why people are the way they are. When we see dark people in the world, I get them. It doesn't surprise me. They've been so mistreated. So you kept your light and you were so misunderstood and mistreated. And that was totally wrong.
Thank you.
And you never got to hear that. Is this like the first time you're hearing that?
Yep.
Anybody else, Sandra, Teresa, or Linda, want to say anything from your heart? Just say it. Holy shit.
I would just like to say that I'm proud of you, that you kicked butt. You took on more than you should have. It wasn't your responsibility. You're more than enough, and I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
God, being understood is so powerful. Linda or Sandra, you don't have to talk, but if you want to share, feel free.
No, I would say the same thing. I mean, you think about your own trauma and then you look at other people and think, oh my God, I can't believe what you went through. That is stunning and heartbreaking. But look at where you are and what you've done. Like you said, we try to break, and I've done the same thing with my kids, is break that generational crap that we went through. And you would never do that. What would happen to you, you would never do to your children. And you've learned, but look where you are, and you've come out on top. And
You're blown away.
Yeah, blown away. Give yourself a big hug. I mean, that just blows me away. I just can't even believe. And everybody, all my friends who, grew up in very religious families, everything was the fear of God. I mean, every parent put the fear of God in them. And talk about walking around on like eggshells. Everything was, they just put the fear of God in me. I couldn't do anything. I had to do this. I had to do this. Everything. I mean, it's, when you say, well, why didn't you do it? She goes, they all say, oh, it's the fear of God. It's like the fear of God. They
Absolutely
just tortured you with that.
Isn't that ironic? Fear of God. They don't even go together. God is
no,
love.
they don't go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So misused. It's so misused, and that's the thing. And I've had to, say that to myself, because I believe in God. I've found a healthy church now, but I'm telling you, I was very careful with my children. I did not take them anywhere till I find a healthy, and now my oldest daughter volunteers there, so it's very healthy. But I had to learn that as well, and I did go through a course they offered back in the day where I really understood like how different they were. They shouldn't be ruling with an iron fist. They love everybody. They're there for you. They don't judge you. If you want to have a glass of wine, I always believed if I wore pants and jewelry and cut my hair, I was going to hell. That's how powerful that they were at that time with trying to tell you those things. But I had to come away from that. And I still know there's good people that are not quite like that and that do offer healthy, religion and church. I do want to say that because I don't believe that they're all bad. I just experienced it when it was bad. And
Jamie,
you're right. Everything you said, eggshells, it was so true.
And Sandra, I didn't give you a chance to talk yet. If you wanted to, and I'll add on.
Honestly, Jamie, I can totally relate, and you are so strong. You just, it's so hard to believe that you are yourself, but you are so strong for what you went through, and to change the pattern as well, and to recognize that you needed to change the pattern. No, you're a true warrior. Honestly, you are so strong, and you're teaching your children exactly the same. Like, things that you want. You don't want those things to happen again. You are moving in the right direction. And I'm sorry you went through all that. That is just, it's wrong. But I can relate. But honestly, you have come so far, and you just keep going. Just keep going. It's just amazing.
Well,
You're amazing.
yeah, feel that, take all that in. And because I've worked with you already a little bit, I feel like I want to say a little bit more just to not trigger you, but to kind of pull it all together to regulate. Because that's around the time you met like your first true love, right? At that place.
Yep. When I went to the Bible school the first year, yes.
I'm getting chills. So
Yeah.
there's trauma even within that. Can I say a little, or do you want to share a little bit?
No, you can. Yeah, you can. Sure.
Just in a nutshell, I mean, Jamie, this is why people go to the movies. Like, I'm like wanting to talk with you right after this and be like, it's called a beat sheet. Let's like tell the event. I mean, all of you, I want to do that with. I'm just in your story. Like, this would be such a powerful film to watch, just what she went through as a child. And then she finds this healthy love, this man that fights for her and wants to help her get away from the negativity, right? This is when you were going to leave your abusive family.
Yep.
And am I saying it right? Or
yes. And I mean, I went to school, as I said, because that's what they expected me to do. When I went to that school, when my mom did not have my help, she always went back to my dad. So in the meantime, she went back to my dad. I had met this boyfriend that he was lovely. I was very happy. She got back to my dad and he started to control things again. So when I came home for summer break, I don't know if you guys were on the one where we talked about the gun.
The gun.
That ties into this. So he basically, when I said and tried to stand up for myself that I was going back to school that fall, he came to me while I was in the shower with a gun and said, "You're not going anywhere," because he wanted me to stay home and work and give him my money, essentially, which is what I did. So I did not go back to school. When
so take a breath. And we've done some completion work on that, but just let there be more. You know, the fact that he even came in the bathroom when you're naked with a gun is wrong. So again, feel that validation. That is wrong. Get the hell out. Go ahead and we're just doing like, look at, this is just like a little, feel the support. Yeah. Like you feel pretty like again, let's bring the word laughable in. That's insane.
it is. Yeah.
Get out. Right.
Yep. Yeah, I just visualize myself pushing away from the outside, I don't know, wrapping in a towel and walking away.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
is what I visualize. And then from then, when I didn't go back, my boyfriend was coming to see me.
To get you, to take you out of that negative
Yes.
situation.
Yes. So he came once. He was supposed to take me for a visit. My dad would not let me go because he did not think I was going to come back. So fast forward 2-3 months down the road, he comes for another visit.
The boyfriend.
The
And
boyfriend,
you're 18 at this point, so you can leave.
I'm 19. Yeah.
Right.
But yes, yes. And he passed away in a car accident like 45 minutes from my house.
Oh,
So feel your body and look at what God is showing you. That you were being shown how any form of love or goodness, you're right, is fear,
Lost, yeah.
is loss. And with this work, we felt his spirit. He was going through stuff too. And you know now that love is, you fight for love. You keep fighting no matter how many times you were hit down.
Yeah, and it's just the thing too, like I didn't know this went on. I found this out after, but apparently, you know how it is with the US Canadian border. My dad told him that if he would bring him back a 40 ouncer of alcohol, which was illegal, and he could get that across the border, that was his sign that he would let him continue a relationship with me. As crazy as that sounds, I know it sounds wild. And he had that with him in his belongings. And I've really struggled with it because you know, I feel like if he wasn't coming to see me, he'd still be living. And those are the other things that.
I didn't know that part. Your boyfriend at the time had that with him because of your dad?
Yep. Yeah, because that was the test
Yeah.
of if he was worthy to, yeah, it's beyond, I can't even, yeah.
That's not yours. That's not yours. And we already know, just take this healing point with you. Everybody's time here is between them and God. We have to believe that. Nobody, you did not kill anybody. It is not your fault. No. Everybody's playing out their role. I remember he even told me something he was struggling with his mom, and he had his own stuff too. We worked on that a bit.
Because of the eggshells. Yes, it was the expectation in that religion, and he was being pushed and crushed as the same, right? We were both dealing with the same.
So how cool, before he left this life, you gave his soul love and peace to not walk on eggshells. That's how we worked on this a little bit. So let's expand that, you know? But again, this is another piece. We could work on this grief more later, Jamie. So what you do is you take the pieces. We kind of put it all in one just now, because since you went with the 17-year-old and that school, I visualized that whole few-year period.
Right.
And your completion there is no more. No more of this darkness, this control. Yeah. What did you do after that? I forgot.
After the accident.
Yeah.
Well, that's when so my mom finally came to a realization that she needed to get me out of there. And because every time she'd come back, I would feel bad for her. And you know how that goes with
Your dad.
cycle.
Your dad.
Yeah. So she was trying to get me in to do the same LPN program that she had done, the licensed practical nurse. And that's when she made my dad believe that if I went to school, I would make more money. And then when I came back home, he was trying to build a bigger house and he wanted the money. And that's essentially how I got out of that situation, is because in his mind, we got smart enough to realize how he was thinking and what to tell him. And I got out.
To be able to get away.
I just started to be around more people that were stronger and told me, like, you need to just not go back to that situation. And through that year, I got strong enough to say, I'm not coming back, not coming back here. And I told my mom, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm not coming back to this. I will help you in any way when you leave. I cannot go back to this again. And she finally, after 22 years and 7 kids, she finally left him for good.
Take a breath. Feel it.
Wow.
Yeah. So then I went to school, and that's where I met my husband. And it's a crazy story as well.
But see, look at that. That huge shift in her energy and consciousness, where she was just, enough is enough, because you had been pulled by that pattern, just like your mom and the money, and your dad taking money. And then your mom got smart and helped you get smart to figure out how to break the pattern. And you both got out around the same time.
Yep, pretty much. I mean, she went back a little while I was in the course. And that's when I said to her, I can't come back to this. If you are going to stay there, I'm not coming back.
But didn't she want you to do that? So you had not to bring money home to your abusive dad, but to have the freedom to be able to make your own money and get out, right?
Yes. Yes.
And then you made that shift, and then you met a wonderful partner that brought tear to your eyes. That's how quick this works. It's like you tell God, you do the right thing for yourself, God gives you the right thing. That's what I see. Didn't you hear that? Like years and decades of torture. And she goes, nope, I'm done. Feel that boundary work. Yep. You did that.
Because and I was paying their car payment while I was going to school, and I just told her, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. Like, everything was stacked against me.
Talk about child labor, slavery. What the heck? Yeah. Kids having to work to pay your parents' bills.
I did it for years. I worked on a farm from time I was little. He took every cent through the years. like all the every summer when I worked, and then when I worked for 2 years, I was working 2 to 3 jobs.
And how big and healthy are your boundaries now?
Oh, it definitely does not. No, it does not happen now. No.
I just meant in life, in your body. It's like,
Yes. No, I've come a long way there. I've come a long way there. And then I'm just really glad that I found you and just these lovely group of ladies that just, it's really helpful now.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
seen, you're heard, you're honored for what you've been through, you're releasing it, you're hearing yourself, you know your boundaries, you learn the best lessons, you don't take anything from anybody. When you get hit this hard, this is like the best gift. So many people let so many red flags in. I don't let one in anymore. I can't afford to. When you've almost lost your life and your sanity.
Yeah.
Teresa knows. We all know. We all talk red flags. I texted her about something the other day. She responded with like 5 red flags in a row, like the emoji. I was like, I've never seen that. Yes. No red flags. We're done.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just very thankful at this point. Like it's been so long, and I'm just so, that's why when I say I'm grateful, I truly, truly mean I'm grateful. Because I changed things, but I still didn't have completion. I learned to have boundaries. I just needed help releasing, and I still didn't know what to do with all of those things and
Yeah,
the emotions and the thoughts.
that's what happened to me and why I'm doing what I'm doing with you all. That completion piece saves our life. We go back. I mean, Linda, I'm visualizing our first session. We just went right for it. Like, if you need to get out of somewhere, take yourself out of there as many times as you need to. Fight back, get out. I mean, it's true. I made this up, and I believe it's to be true, and unless the other professionals in somatic experience said it. To me, the nervous system is like a pet. Do pets know time? Does my dog know the days and the years? No, my dog just knows now. Love me now. The same with Tucker. Tucker doesn't, my 2-year-old, he doesn't know what year it is and that it's been 5 hours that he's been at daycare. He only knows now. I think our nervous systems is the same way. They know no time. They want what they want now, and they've been wanting it for years. So until you give yourself what you never got, we as humans, I believe, feel stuck.
Yeah, and you're right too. Like, people have different stories, but it's not everybody's trauma is the same in their body. It doesn't matter what, like I look at people, even, the stories that I read when I watch that movie, and that I feel like that's worse than I went through. But you have to stop and say, you know what? Everybody's trauma is the same to them in their body. It doesn't matter what it was, it affects you the same.
Talking about The Power of One or The Power of the Heart, that movie.
The Sound of Freedom, when I watched that movie, that just, yeah, it was hard. It's hard to watch, but so necessary.
It is
Just even what they went through has got to be like even worse than anything that I went through, but
well, it's like we all know hunger, we all know thirst, we all know anxiety, we all know sadness. So that's what the human condition connects with. It doesn't matter the trauma, it matters how it affects our bodies. So we do know the same, we don't know the same experience, but we know the same sensations when we've had trauma of overwhelm, fear, shut down. Totally.
But I never wanted to burden people. So I always, like, I didn't mind talking about things, but I just know how hard that is to hear. And I know it's a lot to ask of somebody to listen. So I stopped talking as much the last few years, because I just know everybody has a lot going on recently. And so again, it's why I'm grateful, because we all can hold each other's space, and it's a safe place not to worry if you're overwhelming somebody too much.
Well, you needed to find the right people that know how to listen and understand and have tools, because we're not here to vent. We're here to release and regulate. Venting keeps us stuck. So you were looking for the right tools and you found them.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how do you sense your body now? Just everybody take a breath. And just check it out. Let your heart, your breath expand. Go ahead. What, Jamie?
I feel better. I feel way better now. I feel lighter.
Yeah. Your digestion comes back online. your metabolism, your sleeping, all your systems when you regulate just come back into balance. Well, I thought this was, you never know what's going to come up, right?
So,
And that's what I was thinking. I was like, what do I want? And I'm like, you know what? It's just gonna be what it is, because I was seeing Sandra yesterday. It's just gonna be what it is. I'm just gonna go with whatever comes up, and
the body knows. Your body knew, hey, I want to deal with that paddle. We never dealt with that.
no.
It's so cool.
I
And
really
You
talked about
have
that one.
sorry, Jimmy.
You've never talked about
Like
that
you
one?
have you have like you think there's something in there that you really want to deal with and to come out, and then you're ready for it, and it's totally not.
Yep.
You're all of a sudden it's something totally different. You're like, where did that come from?
Yep.
It's
Yeah, it's yeah. Yeah,
so
thanks
yeah.
for sharing all that. Honestly, that was so brave of you, and
Yeah,
honestly,
that's
Yes.
it's
amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
There's many pieces to our stories, and as we get to know each other, that they come together.
Mhm.
We,
Yeah.
and it's nice to know who people really are.
And it's
And
always nice to
Yeah.
know you're not alone. There's so many. I went to my 40th reunion, and just talking to people, I was like, oh my gosh. And I told people, everybody has a story. We're not nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
No.
Everybody has something. And